Project schedule management. The project schedule management knowledge area consists of 6 processes. Let's talk about these one by one. The first process is known as plan schedule management. This is where the project manager and the team plan how to develop the schedule. Consequently, the output of this process is a plan known as the schedule management plan. The schedule management plan contains the what, when, how, and why of scheduling. How are we going to schedule? What units of measure will we use? Days, weeks, months, maybe even hours or minutes? What is the level of accuracy? How will the schedule be controlled? And things such as that. The major output, again, is a schedule management plan. Now that becomes an input to the next process known as define activities. The define activities process is one in which the tasks to be carried out are defined. By defined, they are given a name, a phrase, a description that if read, the reader would understand what exactly is happening in that particular task. There are 3 major outputs of this process. The first is an activity list. The second is called activity attributes. These attributes further describe the activity. They further extend the understanding of the activity. The third one is called a milestone list. Milestones are key events on a project. They are not tasks, but they mark the accomplishment of a significant event on the project. These have 0 duration. So far, we've talked about plan schedule management and now define activities. The third process is known as sequence activities, and this is where the activities that have been defined are sequenced in logical order of occurrence, because when they were defined, they may not have been defined in order. For that reason, we use dependencies and relationship types of scheduling to sequence the activities. For example, we could link 2 activities in a finish to start relationship, or a finish to finish relationship, or a start to start relationship, or maybe a start to finish relationship, which is rather rare. We don't typically see start to finish relationships, but we see a lot of finish to start relationships in schedules. In addition to this, dependencies such as mandatory dependencies, discretionary dependencies, internal or external dependencies could be taken into account. When all is said and done, the output is a project schedule network diagram. The project schedule network diagram is a graphical display of how the different tasks are linked and interconnected. It gets rather detailed here. After this is done, the next process is estimate activity durations. Estimate activity durations is the process in which the project manager and the team estimate how long an activity will take based on certain parameters such as the resource working on the project, how many resources are working on the project, when will they be working, and attributes such as that. Now remember, duration of a task is different from effort involved in a task. What I mean by that is the passage of time for which a task is required to go through to be completed is not the same as the effort needed to complete the task. Let me give you an example. A resource has been allocated to work on a project for 40 hours. However, those 40 hours will not be worked on in a single week. those 40 hours will be spread out. This resource is only available 20% of the time. Therefore, in a work week, this resource will only work 8 hours, no more. If that is the case, this resource will need to work 5 weeks to complete the task, even though the effort is 40 hours. 40 hours could be worked on in a work week. However, this resource is not available for 100% of the time. This is the difference between duration and effort. The passage of time is duration. The amount of work required by a resource is effort. These two are very different. Now, when you are estimating your activity duration, you do need to know about the effort. You do need to know about the percent allocation of that resource and many other variables, constraints, assumptions, predecessors, and successors could all lead to you getting that duration. When the duration has been derived for all of the different activities, you're now ready to put all the information you have into a final schedule. So the output of estimate activity durations is known as duration estimate. And this is also backed up with a basis of estimates, also known as a BOE, which justifies how that estimate was derived. The following process after that is develop schedule. In develop schedule, the team puts all the information available together to get that final schedule. We refer to the final schedule that has been approved by management as a schedule baseline. We also refer to the living schedule that is modified and updated with actuals as the project schedule. So there's a difference between the project schedule, which is updated with actuals, and the schedule baseline, which is etched in stone and never changes. It is used to measure schedule performance. The final process is control schedule. And in control schedule, the project manager is involved in managing and maintaining the schedule, ensuring that whatever is outlined happens at that exact point. And if a change to the schedule is required, that change goes through the proper change control channels. So the 6 processes again are plan schedule management, define activities, sequence activities, estimate activity durations, develop schedule, and control schedule. And that concludes our review of project schedule management.